What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I've got an unbelievably interesting Palantir update for you in this one. Palantir surged an absolutely crazy amount today, going up about 25%. And there are two very specific reasons why Palantir has gone up this much today. So we're going to go over all of those different reasons, and we're going to go over what exactly I am planning on doing with my Palantir options play. So make sure you stick until the end of the video to make sure you get all of the adequate information to figure out what you would like to do with your Palantir trades going into the next couple of weeks. So before we get into all of that information, if you guys enjoy this video, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me get this information out to as many people as possible, and you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks and learn about a couple of new ones. So let's go over and take a look at the chart of Palantir. We can see that it had an unbelievably large run up from the $10 range all the way up to the $29 mark. Now, the intraday high for Palantir was about $33.50. Now, I've said before that the $30 price point and the $33.50 price point are going to be the two most important price levels for Palantir to decide if it's going to have another massive breakout. And we saw today that Palantir absolutely surged right through the $30 price point, and now we're looking towards the $33.50 mark. Palantir would only need to go up an extra dollar in share price in order to break its all-time high. Now, the first reason why Palantir most likely went up an absolutely crazy amount of 25% today was that it has demo day coming up on January 26th. So let's take a look at exactly what we are expecting for this day. They actually announced some new things that we should expect to look out for on demo day. So those are going to be pretty interesting as well. So we're going to get product demonstrations of its Foundry, Gotham, and Apollo platforms. So these are going to cover real life examples of its commercial and government work. The interesting about that is that we have not really seen exactly what specifically Palantir has been doing for the different governments that it has contracts with. We know the details of the contracts, but we do not know the exact specifics. And once we get the actual examples and they walk us through exactly what they have been doing, I think everybody's going to start to realize how useful and how important Palantir's software has been in handling all of the different hardships that we faced in 2020 and continuing into 2021. Now, here is where the important updates come in. Now, the event will also highlight Palantir's modular strategy, including the announcement and demonstration of new software modules such as software-defined data integration, low-code, no-code environments, archetypes, and AI-enabled mission command. Now, I'm not an expert in data analytics, but when a company comes out and says that they're going to be introducing new software, it's going to be a very good sign for the company if this software is very important to investors and they can show how it's going to be used in the new contracts that Palantir is going to be receiving. Now, the second reason that I'm thinking that Palantir went up this much today is only a rumor, but it is a very important rumor. If we come over here, we can see in this Reddit post that this individual thinks that Alex Karp and Stephen Cohen are going to be making a purchase of over $188 million of Palantir within the next 30 days. Now, this is pretty interesting right here. He says that these two individuals made HSR filings and a request for early termination. Now, HSR filings aren't public record, but early termination requests are, and we can take a look over here. We can see that the date of this early termination request for Alexander Karp was granted, and this early termination request for Stephen Cohen on the same date was also granted. Now, the reason why you would want to have one of these early termination notice is because right here, you want to bypass the customary 30-day waiting period when someone makes an HSR filing. So that kind of serves as some confirmation as to them actually wanting to purchase this amount of shares ahead of demo day. Now, in addition to demo day, we are also going to have the earnings of Palantir occurring on February 11th. A lot of people are a little bit nervous though, because 3 days after Palantir's earnings is going to be when the share lockup period is going to expire, meaning that all of the individuals who were maybe the early investors of Palantir, high-level employees, and some other individuals that were able to buy into Palantir early have had their pre-IPO shares of Palantir locked up until this share lockup period expires. So it's possible that we see some selling pressure 3 days after Palantir announces their earnings, earnings, and I've speculated that Alex Karp and Stephen Cohen are going to be using this massive purchase, if they do make it, on the share lockup period expiration day, so they kind of take the focus away from the selling pressure and add in a lot of buying pressure on those couple of days so that the share price of Palantir does not plummet. So now let's take a look at what my plans are for my Palantir trade. So I have the $30 strike for February 19th. And as you can see right now, Palantir is trading at $32.58. So these contracts are right now $2.58 in the money, which I'm very happy about. The gain on these contracts is pretty huge. But if we look at the option chain for the weekly expiration, if you bought Palantir contracts yesterday, you could have made 10,000%, 7,500%, 25,000%. Now, these are kind of not all accurate, but it's safe to assume that you would have made 10,000% on an options trade if you bought calls for Palantir yesterday. Now, that's absolutely insane. To put that in perspective for you, if you spent $100 on Palantir calls expiring today and you bought them yesterday on Thursday, you would have turned that $100 investment into upwards of $10,000. Now that's absolutely insane. So let's take a look at my trade. So basically, if we come down, I have the $30 strike, and these contracts were up 208% today. Now that's pretty great. I've been calling out Palantir going to 30 over the past couple of weeks. If you've been watching my previous videos, I started calling out these $30 strikes right about this $25 mark. It did fall a little bit and was kind of bouncing up before Palantir got some not so great news that Citi was downgrading, which kind of sent the stock price going lower. But then we saw ARK Invest come in and buy 500,000 shares of Palantir, which ended up bringing the stock price back up. So my plan for these contracts right now is they're currently trading at about $5.05, and I bought them for about $1.20, which means that I've turned $120 into $500 per contract that I have, and I currently have 2 contracts. Now, I usually trade small with options. I usually put anywhere between $200 to $1,000 on any given options trade just because of how risky options are, especially with a company that has an implied volatility as high as Palantir's is right now. I thought it would be better to kind of go on the lower end of spending on this contract. So I only spent about $250, and that position now is worth almost $1,000. It actually is worth $1,000 when you take a look at the last price. So this is a pretty good gain. I'm planning on holding these contracts now. My new plan is to hold them until demo day and sell one of my contracts, and then hold the other contract until the day before or the day of earnings, and then sell that contract then. The reason for that is that after earnings or after demo day, we could see a pretty massive sell the news event. So demo day could come out with some unbelievable news. The stock price could go up in the short term. But as we saw after NIO had its NIO day and they released some really great news, that the stock did have a pretty big sell-off after the news kind of disseminated. Now, I don't think that Palantir is going to have that much of a sell-off after demo day because it does have earnings right around the corner. And usually when a company has earnings in the near future, we see a run-up in share price as investors are piling in, hoping that the company will release some good news and good numbers, and the stock price will go up after the earnings event. But after the earnings event happens, there's nothing really in the future, no event, nothing that could cause the stock to have a massive move. So we're going to see this implied volatility go down after earnings, and the actual price of the options will go down. Now, my contracts are in the money right now. They're pretty deep in the money, so implied volatility and IV crush is not going to affect my contracts as much, but I'm still going to play it on the safe side because I like to take my profits when they're on the table. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me get this information out to as many people as possible. And comment down below your thoughts on if you guys had these Palantir daily contracts, because these went up absolutely insane percentage points. I like to see that you guys are making money too. Hopefully you were able to get into the same contracts that I had. Now, none of what I say is a recommendation. I'm just documenting this for educational purposes. It's basically like a trading journal for me to go look back on to see where my mistakes are. But this is a very successful trade right now, and hopefully you guys were able to make some money on Palantir as well. So I hope you guys had a really profitable trading week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.